Hey y'all, this is Heather McFadden.
And Cynthia Yanof.
Welcome to season 1 of Sidetracked. What you're about to hear originally aired on the Don't Mom Alone podcast.
And so for your convenience, we've put all of our Sidetracked episodes in one place. So enjoy.
Enjoy.
Excuse me, I'm going to go take a picture of and make my son look like a broccoli. So everyone mind your business. Thank you. Done.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Don't Mom Alone podcast. I'm your host, Heather McFadden, and this is the place where I get to walk alongside you and connect you with people and resources so you know that you don't mom alone. You heard the new music last week, and this week it signifies our new series, The Summer of Mentorship, which we do every year. This year, we're doing something a little different. Instead of republishing old episodes, I've invited my friend Cynthia Yanof, who's the host of the Mesmerized podcast, to join me in answering your questions. We answer them with a lot of humor and a little mentoring. I hope you're enjoying it. This is episode 415. Let's get right to it. Here we go. What do you think? Somebody gave them to me to match my book.
Your earrings are very cute. They're those long ones. And I have short neck syndrome. And so they rest on my shoulder.
So
and
you can't wear long, but you have hoops.
I have hoops in, but they're
You don't
short
do
hoops.
Studs. No.
I don't not my earrings, not my men, none of it. Yes, I gave you those earrings to match your book. I was so excited.
You should buy it. Have you bought a copy
Of your book? I didn't have to because a publisher sent me a
Oh,
copy.
they did.
Mm-hmm.
Not a PDF like I sent you?
It wasn't even it was like the rough draft.
It was a rough draft.
Heather, coming on my podcast, and I was so excited to have her as a guest. And I was like, hey, I don't have the book. I mean, never mind, Priscilla Shire and Max Lucado and others send me book. Not Heather McFadden. She's not going to.
I don't have time for that.
And then she sends me some rough draft copy. She's like, I can't even find it. And
I was hoping you could help edit. When you came over for the first time, I was like, how clean do I clean the house? Because I don't want you to think, I'm one way, like I'm a super clean person, which I'm not. But I also want to be respectful of, I want to be hospitable and that I don't have my laundry out thinking you'll help me fold it.
Your dirty underwear is
dirty underwear, dust bunnies, all the things. So it was a tricky thing. But then you came over and you noticed something on my walls that I see every day that I didn't even think about.
That's the thing about when people come to your house because
it's all new
it's all new. And then people will be like, oh, what's that? Whatever. And I'm like, oh,
I've been ignoring it.
Okay, so I came over to Heather's house. Yes, I did. And by the way, it was so ridiculous. Heather and I are good friends, but new good friends, not old good friends. And so something had just happened. I'm in tears, and I'm not even a teary person, so I'm all weird anyway. It was a whole thing.
And I love crying. Crying is my favorite.
I don't know
crying.
I don't really know how to process that.
It's like on Elf when he says smiling is my favorite, crying is my favorite. And so for you to show up crying was like, oh, she really, really cares about me.
Huh. Okay, so so I'm walking down her hallway. I just had to keep going. I wasn't sure where to
land with that. You're like, don't even know what to do with my.
Because I'm not a crier. Okay, and so I'm walking down the hallway, and she has her family pictures that are so cute, and she has literally the identical picture that I have in my hallway going to my bedroom, the newborn photo for one of her older kiddos, the newborn photo that I have from my older one. And it is, I think you have one of your husband and a different one of you. And the one I have is of me. And so we're holding the baby. I think it's black and white. Is it black and white?
Totally.
Okay. We're holding the newborn and our head is down and they're all swaddled up and it's black and white. And it's this attempt at art of some sort. Not to mock your picture.
No. This was a theme.
This is what we did.
This is what we did.
And so how old is that kid that
that was 2007.
Okay, so I have a kid.
I have 2005, I have 2007. Both got
I have an 07.
Newborn. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I have an 07 kiddo too. Right? I can't remember. It's so confusing, these birthdays. Nonetheless, I have the exact same photo. And I'm laughing so hard because I'm like, why were we doing that picture? We haven't swaddled tight. And we're not smiling. We're not looking at the camera. We're looking down at them you are my treasured gift, child.
Yeah.
I will not
As we're
smile.
wearing the giant underwear diaper thing.
Yeah, because they're brand new.
I mean, you have to do it within a certain period of time. Like the newborn photographer would only book it within like a week or two of birth because then they got too difficult.
And because then it gets weird. It's like when you're watching like
Then
TV.
it gets weird. It was already weird.
It's weird. It's kidding. Like when you're watching TV and like the person like has their baby and you're like, oh, that's like a 6-month-old that just came out of there. Like you can't do that. So like time is the essence with this ridiculous picture that we both have. It's sweet, but it's real weird. And then I started thinking about, okay, other trends in newborn photoing.
Yeah.
Remember when people, I love y'all listening. If you have this, it's fine. But it got really weird when people were dressing their kids like a vegetable, like a cabbage.
You talking about Ann Getty's?
Well, then everybody was knocking it off. And so then next thing I know, I'm getting all these birth announcements. I'm like, oh, look, they had an asparagus. Like
Junior asparagus, like VeggieTales.
What were we doing? And then I'm going to give you one more.
I missed the veggie years. Like I
did too.
I
I didn't
never.
have a kid.
I didn't have a kid then.
I didn't have a kid then.
Well, now they're all so adorable.
Oh, they're so cute. Yeah.
But
Let me give you another one before, and then we're going to get to current day trend because I don't know if I know what it is. But the one after that people got really into was we're going to gather everyone and take the photo sitting on our beautiful bed.
Oh, the bed.
The bed, the whole family. And I'm like, listen.
And the dog.
And the dog. And I'm like, listen, why are we in the primary bedroom sitting on the bed as a family holding this baby? Like, I don't know if I needed that window.
No, I don't need that. I don't need to see that. And it was going on to Christmas cards. I think I just got one this year, a Christmas card.
We love you guys.
Where
it's
they're
fine.
on the bed. Yeah, I think, okay, I'm just remembering we have a picture of all of our feet.
Nope.
We're laying on the bed and it's the bottom of our feet. My husband's, mine, the little toddler, and the baby. No, that's weird.
Well,
now that
two
I'm
of
thinking
those
about
4 feet are cute. Well, maybe you have cute feet. I don't know, you guys. I have the most heinous
I have a
feet.
high instep. I don't know that that's a cute foot. I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe.
But I think that nowadays, what I was thinking about, I was going into a boutique, which I knew was going to be expensive. And I was thinking about our finances and budgeting, and I probably shouldn't be here. And then I was thinking, you know what they don't tell moms of little kids?
What's up?
Stop spending all the money. You are going to need the money to feed them as teenagers, to send them to college, to pay for all of the outfits and the proms and the dances. Don't worry about what they're wearing and all of the money when they're 1 and 2. They're the easiest. Buy the diapers or do the cloth diapers or whatever. There's already expenses built in to having littles. Mm-hmm. Adding to it by making them dress in a full like Anthropology look outfit when they don't care. Just for the Instagram?
I know, but for argument's sake, when else do you get to dress them? Because I'm going to tell you, they hit 6th, 7th grade and you aren't dressing them.
Like,
they wear.
Save the dollars. Go to Walmart. Do the knockoff. Go to the resale shop. I think that's big now, though. I do think that people are doing. I was sitting next to a lady on the airplane and she was real big into the resale shops. And I'm like, yes, do that. Save the money. She was doing it for the planet. But I'm like, save your dollars. It gets expensive.
I get that. So wait. My question then becomes this. What is today's newborn photo? And maybe Heather, I mean, I'm not trying to blow up your Instagram, blow up mine. I don't care. Maybe people need to like send us some pictures. Like what is your new?
Maybe they don't do it. Maybe they're saving dollars.
We're not going to mock. Heather, we might mock.
I'm not going to mock.
We're not going to mock.
Actually, let's all mock together. The most ridiculous newborn picture you have.
Yes.
Have you seen the ones where it's like she's pregnant and then she's holding the baby in the same position after? Like where the baby would have been. Or where the dads are in it holding the belly before the baby's even born.
There's, everybody, let's do that. Will you do
and
that?
Now, did you see there's not just like a gender reveal party. There's a name reveal party people are doing. Come on,
really?
Yeah. Like popping balloons. Like it's not Rose. It's not Beth. It's Velma.
No.
And then everyone has to react like, we hate Velma.
Right.
Like, don't do this.
That's on you. Because,
that's on you.
Listen, you don't tell anybody that baby's name because everybody's got an opinion and they're like, oh, my 6th grade bully was named
Velma.
Yeah. And so,
did you have a gender reveal party?
No, I think I'm too old. And then my 7-year-old, my little bit that we adopted from foster care. I mean, he was already. You
didn't go through the
right. No, like he
pregnancy
showed,
and everything.
Yeah, no, all that. So everybody already knew. So that's weird when we finally got to adopt him. I'm like, it's a boy. They're like, we know. We've been looking at him for 2 years.
If I'd have done a gender reveal for any of, I cried in every ultrasound after the first 2.
Why?
Because it's another boy.
We love you, kids. It's fine up there.
No, I've worked through it. My dad was so sweet. He would call and be like, well, the world needs more godly men.
It does.
And he entrusted you with that. And it felt like a mission, but at the same time, I'm like, No bows, no tights, no ballet.
Do people say that? And people say that, right? Because I have both genders, but people say stuff like that, like in the grocery store. They're like, "Oh, did you want a girl?" Do they do that?
Oh, when I was pregnant with the fourth, they would say, "Oh, is it a girl?" Because I'd had the 3 little ones all around me, and I would see their faces fall when I'd say, "It's another boy." Finally, a woman gave me words to say. She had the experience where you didn't know until you're in the hospital what gender you're having, and so people would come into the hospital visiting her holding a dress.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A little girl baby dress. And she said, this is what you need to say. She said, with such cute boys like this, who wouldn't want another one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Throw it back in their face. Like, yeah, what are you saying? I don't want more of these cute things?
Excuse me, I'm going to go take a picture of and make my son look like a broccoli. So everyone mind your business. Thank you. Done.
Hey, y'all, I love sharing some of my favorite things with you. And one of those things, it feels like the unicorn of beauty products, is Thrive Cosmetics, because it is a combination of products that work, products that are clean, and products that give back. And my absolute favorite thing that they make is the Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. So I have been on the lookout for a good mascara that doesn't smudge or flake. I have, the way my eyes are, they're more inset. And so other mascaras, oftentimes I'll get like dark rings under my eyes or just flakes over the course of the day, or it breaks my eyelash. My eyelashes, my hair in general is fine. I have a lot of it, but it's fine. Anyway, what Thrive Cosmetics mascara does is it creates they have a proprietary tubing formula so that kind of wraps around each eyelash, which means it stays on when I need it to, but it comes off easily without breaking my eyelashes at the end of the day. So I just use soap and water and it just slides right off. You know, also in the product is nourishing ingredients, which help support. So my eyelashes have never been healthier looking or longer or stronger. Like I said, I appreciate that they are 100% vegan and cruelty-free beauty products and no parabens, no sulfates, no phthalates, but they work. It does not keep them from performing well. And they have a bigger than beauty promise, which means because cause is in the name, Thrive Cosmetics, every purchase is part of their mission to support organizations that help communities thrive, whether it's those battling domestic abuse, homelessness, cancer, and so many more. You have to try Thrive Cosmetics to see for yourself. Right now, you can get an exclusive 20% off your first order when you visit thrivecosmetics.com/DMA. That's Thrive Cosmetics, and it's spelled out CAUSEMETICS.com/DMA for 20% off your first order. Okay, we have got another listener question. Are you ready for this?
Oh, sure. Let's go.
Okay, here it is.
Hey, Heather. I absolutely love your podcast and your book. It's been life-changing to fully occupy my God-given space, and I'm so grateful for all of your wisdom and all the answers that you give to other moms. And so I do have a question or a challenge I'm facing right now that I'd like maybe an answer to or some guidance. My 3-year-old daughter, I have 2, my 3-year-old daughter gets jealous of all the attention I give to my 1-year-old daughter. And, you know, she's definitely in need of more help right now from mom as a 1-year-old. My 3-year-old's way more independent. However, when I try to do anything for my youngest, my older steps in and gets jealous and wants me to only help her. I try to balance out my love and attention, but at the end of the day, my oldest will only let me bathe her and put her to bed, whereas she wants dad to help care for little sister. So I guess my question is, what can I do to help this? I don't get to care for both my daughters evenly because my oldest is really wanting all of mama to herself.
This is super relatable to, I get this question from moms a lot, often when the baby's coming, like we were just talking about newborn stuff. And my tip, and it may not work, I always throw things out. Try it, give it a shot. So 2 things. One is I would have a basket of books by wherever I was, like if I was feeding. Now a 1-year-old, you're not really necessarily feeding on the regular, but if it's a newborn, you have a 2-year-old, you are feeding that baby every 45 minutes, it feels like, and it takes forever. And it's just like your toddler obviously gets annoyed because it seems like you're just cuddling with this baby all the time.
Right.
You're really, either breastfeeding and miserable or, I'm just.
Some people find it miserable.
Some people don't but I just feel like it can be painful. It can be like you could get mastitis and all that jazz. It's not like.
I pumped.
So
and fed him. So I did double duty.
That's a lot. It's
Y'all,
a lot. It's not
I feel
easy.
For you.
But the 2-year-old doesn't know all that.
That's right.
They just see you touching, holding, caring for the other one. So what I would say, instead of, hey, mommy has to feed the baby, I'd say, oh, this is mommy. Let's say your daughter's Lily. Mommy Lily time. Pick out 3 books for mommy Lily time. You get to turn the pages. And I mean, yes, it's a lot of work, but like multitasking as moms is one area we grow.
Yeah.
The other thing is I would make an actual time. We're going to have mommy time. And when I had 3 little ones and a newborn, they would each get 10 minutes with me.
Right.
We would set a timer and I would do whatever they wanted to do for mommy time. And we would do it in the morning and then we would do it after nap time. And for some reason, calling it mommy time, talking about mommy time during the day, like, oh, what are you going to do for mommy time today? That was so fun when we made paper airplanes and threw them down the hallway for mommy time. Like, I didn't realize how little one-on-one attention my other kids were getting because you think I'm with them all day.
Right.
But like focused attention. There was even a summer when I had older kids and I realized I'm just critiquing, breaking up fights. I'm crowd managing all the time and they're not getting individual attention with me. So we did it again. And it was like, we're going to play Uno for 10 minutes. Like now the teens are like, no, I don't want to spend time with you. But this was just like a season of like older elementary years.
Yeah.
That's my tip. Mommy time, calling it out because of course that child had you all to themselves for a few years. So it makes sense that they think. But it's good for them to share attention, right? Don't you feel like?
I think it's really good. And okay, I'm going to jump around for just a second and say one thing.
Yeah.
This mommy time and just spending time individually with your kids and how important that is. And I'm going to just fast forward to a little bit older kids and just say, like, some of the best things I've ever done was, well, just recently, like I took my high school son on a trip, just the 2 of us. My husband actually couldn't, he was busy with work. And my other one was at college and I left the little one. And just the 2 of us went.
Not
and
alone.
I was like,
the little one stayed with someone. Like you didn't
I mean,
just
who knows? It's my 3rd kid. I don't know. I don't know who had it.
There was someone in charge.
I'm sure there was an adult.
Okay-ish.
And so, but I went on like a trip with my middle son who was in high school. And I was like, this is going to get interesting because like, he's not the biggest talker in the world. He's super sweet and so fun. But I'm like, And we went to Nashville. And I'm going to tell you something. That was like the sweetest trip. I learned so much about him. And I saw Nashville. I've been to Nashville 1,000 times. I saw Nashville from his perspective. We went to all the guitar stores. We went to the sports, like the things I wouldn't do with my older daughter. But it was such a sweet time. And just that reminder that, no, is he like jealous for my time? Not that I'm aware of, but how important that time is from the time they're little all the way up. I just think that's such a good point that she's making, a good question. Like how do I help? How do I foster that time and make that child feel seen and valued, all the things. And then, but I'm just going to, if I might, Heather, go a little bigger too. One other thing.
Yeah.
So now being a mom that has older kids and a little one. And so I've been, to the playground, to the park with my little one. I even wrote about this, like, the lessons I've learned now from the playground. But one of the things that I always like to talk about is just that, like, when you go to the park and you get there and your kid is off playing by themselves and there's this whole like, oh my gosh, we came to the park. Why are you not interacting with the kids? What's wrong? And you start freaking out and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to have this recluse.
Socialized them.
Yes, they have no friends and I didn't put them in whatever the cool thing is.
Kinder music. I don't know.
Yes, all the things that we pay for, like with a newborn and like we hold the tambourine in their face.
Yes,
and
there's an egg shaker.
Done it all.
Yeah.
Done it all.
There's got to be handkerchiefs.
Like
sure.
Here we are. Well, they're like, we're out
I didn't
of luck.
do that. So now
we're playing by themselves at the playground. And
a recluse forever.
Recluse. And I'm just going to say something I've learned it. Like there is value in having kids that can play alone because we want to raise kids who can stand alone. And like I saw one time on social media, a friend of mine posted a picture that a teacher sent her. And it was like that meet at the pole in public school where like it's the first day of school, you take your Bible and you pray or whatever. And they were, I don't know where they live, but not in Texas, somewhere. far, far away. And
Bangladesh.
And they sent a Bangladesh. Thank
No.
you. No, but they had a picture. The teacher sent a picture of her son was by himself standing at the pole, not one other person. Behind you can see masses of kids. It looked like a high schooler. And that kid was praying by himself at the pole holding a Bible. And I saw that picture and like I was like taken. I'm like, I want to raise that kid. How do you raise that kind of kid? And I just realized like if we want to raise kids who can stand alone, and they're going to have to stand alone in today's culture, right? Like we've never been more divided economically, socially, biblically, and every
even in
level.
the church. Like if you're standing up for following Jesus and you're pushing against some of the directions some churches are going, and you're like, no, I believe Jesus is this way, you're gonna have to stand alone in that.
Alone.
Yeah.
And so, yes. And so then I realized, I was like, okay, listen, like if I, now knowing what I know, but if I want to raise kids that can stand alone, then I've got to let them. And so sometimes I'm off task a little from our question, but I just want to encourage you that there are places where your kids are going to be jealous, or they're not going to be invited to the party, or they're not going to make the whatever, all those places. And in those moments, I figured out is where my kids have learned to stand alone. And if I want kids that are going to stand alone, I've got to let them. And so I would just
and be uncomfortable
get comfortable with being uncomfortable in it, and say like, listen, some of our greatest lessons have come from the places we weren't invited, we weren't included. I mean, I go back to that, colloquialism, the truism, but like, that's provision. What seems like punishment many times is actually God's provision over our kids. And it doesn't feel it in the moment for me as a mom or for my kid. But I would just say, like, I just feel like it's so important now as an older mom. I look back, I'm like, especially watching where our culture's headed, not to be the downer, but literally we got to raise kids who can stand alone. And so I just encourage you guys, and myself too, even this summer when I'm like, oh, it looks like everybody went to the pool with their kids and mine didn't get invited.
Maybe I'm thinking about just like getting off Instagram for the summer.
Ooh, yeah.
So I don't see all the trips and all the things. But I think you're right. The one aspect I had to grow in when I moved from one kid to two kids was me being okay with my oldest child being unhappy. I think that's part of this question is they're expressing unhappiness, and we don't like that feeling, because when you have one, you can cater all their needs to continue to make them happy. And I think as you have more kids, or, with cousins, or, even only children that my friends have been friends with, there's aspects of when they hang out with my crew of 4 and they're like, oh, I don't want to go to Taco Bell. I'm like, too bad. We're going to Taco Bell. Yeah. There's a catering to that that's just, you don't have a choice in the matter when there's one. Totally. You're like, of course you're going to do what's going to make them comfortable and happy. But as they're growing, this is a good thing that they're growing in. Like you said, they're learning to stand alone. Playing alone is good. Being uncomfortable, not getting all the attention. These are okay things.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard in the meantime of learning it.
Listen, second, third, and fourth child, you're not getting the creepy newborn photo that we way overpaid for, where you look like a cabbage.
Well, maybe not the cabbage, but yeah, no,
you're not getting that. We may put you on our bed in the creepiest way with the whole family.
A foot picture, but yeah,
but
no,
otherwise,
I think there's a gift in not getting all the attention on you. It's probably the oldest may feel like they have a spotlight on them to perform or to
totally
excel because they had all that attention.
Well, yeah. And
you don't know what you're doing.
And hey, working moms that are even like working outside of the home, we're all working. Boy, are we all working.
That was one of my chapters, all working moms.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I should have read that. If I would have gotten a copy of that book.
Don't Mom Alone. You didn't have me on the show for that one.
Oh, that's why. Yeah.
That's why. Mm-hmm. I can get you one now. I've got a box full.
Maybe even an edited one. That would be something. But yeah, no, I am with you. And there is a gift in being busy and working and doing some other things too, that you're not instantly available. Like you and I can't like at the drop of a hat run the lunchbox over or the whatever it is, whatever age your kid is. And I think there's some gift in that. And so can I interrupt this serious moment to tell you something funny that happened on Mother's Day?
Please.
Can we have a moment of silence for Mother's Day?
Yes, please. For all those.
Shh. Okay. Because Mother's Day,
like all the people that are offended by Mother's Day. Did you know? Like I saw some post, it was like a letter to all the people grieving on Mother's Day. And it was like 7 slides of like the mother this, the mother this, the mother like.
Oh, it's going to get canceled.
It probably might. I don't know. I mean, I feel like we can't win.
No, you can't win. Okay. Well, I wasn't even thinking about how we are like totally offending humanity. I was thinking about how offended I am by Mother's
Personally.
Day. Because every year.
The expectations.
Yes. And I don't
That's
know
what I'm saying. Nobody wins.
No.
Even if you don't have a grief associated with it, you are grieved because it always falls short of expectations.
I'm getting ready to cancel it now that you said that in my own home. And so
what happened this
last
time?
Mother's Day. And so I'll keep it really short. But my son had, my youngest, my little one had a 1:30 basketball game. Thank you so much, Sports League. Thank you for that.
Is this like select or something? Are you paying money for this?
7. He's playing through the little community Y or something.
It is?
Like it's like a nothing bomb. It's PSA, but y'all don't know who that is if you're not local.
It's not YMCA.
No. And so he has a 1:30 game.
They wouldn't have that.
We can't. It's
the C in YMCA is Christian, right? Isn't it?
Young Men's Christian.
Yeah, something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen to me. Please focus, everyone. Squirrel. That's the next episode where we talk about that. Okay, but let me go back to this. So we are getting ready. They made me breakfast. They're so cute. These people are.
They made you breakfast?
Yes, my husband did. And then my teens came out all, I'm so tired. I'm like, it's 9:20. You're fine. Okay. And we're getting ready to go to church, all things. We need the jersey. We need the jersey for the game after church.
Did you use Lysol on it?
I did. Probably. I can't find the jersey anywhere. I cannot find the jersey.
No.
Okay. And I'm very methodical because my kids play a lot of sports. They may not be the brightest, the kindest, the whatever, but we raise athletes, the Yanofs do. Okay. No thanks to me. And
Fadians are not.
I can't find the jersey anywhere. And so finally, my older ones went to church and I'm like, I'll meet you there. And then my husband's like, well, just go. I end up going grumpy as can be. Heather McFadden, my husband, honest to goodness, gets an old VBS shirt and gets duct tape and duct tapes over the scripture on the back of it with a number 5 so he can go to this game because they don't have enough players. So I end up saying like, hey, does anybody care if I don't go to the game? So my husband goes to the game. A fight breaks out.
No.
Between our coach and another. A fight, you guys. The police were called. And
this is first kinder?
Kinder. And so my husband had to break it up a little bit between the two coaches, and the other team was so mad and all this. But I'm getting to the point. As my husband's leaving, the other team, many of the dads are standing by the only egress, if you will, the only exit. I don't know why I used that word, but it made me laugh. The only exit there was. And so my husband's getting ready to leave, and my little one, it's high tension apparently. My little one wants some popcorn. I don't know why he stopped and get on popcorn, but he did. And so as they're walking out, these dads approach him and they are like screaming at him. And one of the dads is like, I'm going to destroy you. And it's this whole thing. And my husband is like, what's going on? Like, what's going on?
Where are your moms and would they approve of this behavior?
Right. And so at the moment, the funniest thing ever happens. He says to my husband, and if you love your kid so much, why are his shoes on the wrong feet? Apparently my sweet husband had my son's basketball shoes on the wrong feet. Okay.
With the duct tape.
And my husband says to the guy, that's what you're worried about? Look at his shirt. We duct taped over a VBS shirt, right? And so we laugh. My husband gets home. It's still Mother's Day. Curse you, Mother's Day. And it goes downhill from there. But I did have to laugh and be like, okay, you know what? Like that is some really poor parenting, but that's third kid and he's better for it. Heather McFadden, he's got shoes on the wrong feet and no jersey.
And he probably showed him up.
I don't know if he's any good, but he doesn't know any differently. And you know what? Life went on and everybody survived.
What he saw was some grown men acting like fools.
Yeah.
That's what he takes home from that, not your parenting of the shoes.
The shoes. That's
not
true.
The shoes.
We had really good conversations about that later and choices people make, and we love people and lost people act lost. I don't know if those people were lost, but we're going to call them lost.
I think I was at a dinner with my husband on a Mother's Day, sitting at a cafe outside in West Village, which is part of Dallas. And there was a table behind me of college-aged or just out of college-age boys cussing up a storm, talking horribly about women. And I sure did turn around and said,
yes, you did.
It's Mother's Day. And I know your moms would not approve of how you're acting. And I'm not enjoying myself listening to you act like this. I sure did shame them right up and down.
And you turned back around and one of them was like, who?
And they were like, oh, sorry.
No, they're like, what's with Karen?
But I'm like, part of our job as moms is to bring order to the chaos. And I'm guessing no moms were at that basketball game.
I sure wasn't. I mean,
I was like, all of the dads are all mad about
and screaming
having
about
to,
who knows
they were
what.
up too early having to make breakfast. So they're cranky pants.
Right. Cranky pants.
Taking on all the jobs where we were supposed to do that. This is what happens. A world without moms.
A world without moms. Hey,
what
you
kind
guys,
of disorder and chaos would happen?
PSA, this is why these episodes aren't Patreon, because I don't know what you just got out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. But Heather McFadden and I are keeping it real and saying, listen, people, your kids they don't have to be the center.
No.
You're going to screw it up. You're going to get it wrong. They're going to be jealous. And you know what? They're going to be okay for it. And a fight may break out at the local gymnasium on Mother's Day, and your kid's got a duct tape jersey, and it's okay.
It's going to be okay.
Whatever you just did today, everyone, you rest in that, because Cynthia Yanof done worse.
Are you mesmerized by Cynthia's mess?
Mesmerized. Do they even know why you make that reference?
No, talk about that for 2 seconds.
Oh, 2 seconds. I have a podcast called Mesmerized. Come listen, everyone. But only after you listen to.
But the story
others.
is you love messes. And
well, it's mesmerized with two. Yeah, it's mesmerized with two S's, like mess. And that's kind of, I just like to normalize what we're all walking through. And we like to talk parenting, but really more than anything, if the definition of mesmerized is to be singularly focused on something, I don't know about you, Heather. I do know about you, actually, but I'm mesmerized by everything around me in the mess. I'm mesmerized by my phone on any given day, by platform, by achievement, by image.
Other people's opinions of our kids.
Control.
Keeping our kids happy.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just feel like the Lord has just really spoken into my life. Like, if you're going to be singularly focused on anything, be mesmerized by me. And so how do we do that? Like, how do we live mesmerized by the Lord? How do we take what we heard Sunday at church, and that's going to impact Tuesday when I'm trying to figure out why my kid's doing what they're doing? And so that's what Mesmerized is, my podcast. We try to laugh a lot and be honest, and we have the same thing as you. Cool people on that talk about it.
It sounds a lot like my first podcast, God-Centered Mom.
I knocked it off. This is awkward.
This is awkward.
I guess we'll leave it at that.
I just got straight to the point. Be God-centered, and you're like, Mesmerized is so clever.
God-centered I felt judged.
Too holy. It is judgy.
I felt judged.
Judgy. It's like I'm already failing, and I haven't even listened.
So anyway, but if there is a copyright issue, I used to be a lawyer. Well,
there's a whole nother story there. All right. Thanks, y'all. Bye. Okay, y'all, thanks for joining Cynthia and I again today. I hope that you just laughed and a little bit reminded of what really matters in your mothering. I'm going to say a quick prayer for us as we do this parenting gig. Lord, I do thank you that we do not have to make our kids the center of our worlds, that they are the center of your heart. And there's not a moment that you are not attentive to their needs and aware of their story. You have their lives planned out and you see the whole thing at once. And Lord, I pray that we would surrender that to you, that we would recognize happiness is not a mark of good mothering, that our kids' contentment is not the goal, that we seek you first and gain your guidance, and that we are singularly focused, mesmerized by you, like Cynthia said, so that these things lose their hold of importance on our hearts, that we would worry less about what other people think about our kids' duct tape jerseys or shoes or behaviors or attitudes, and be most focused on them knowing who you are. And that starts with us being in relationship with you, God. I pray for each mom and dad who listens today that they would be drawn closer to you in their own quiet moments, if those exist, or even in the midst of the chaos, Lord, that they could turn to you in a breath prayer and ask for your guidance and your help and your support, and to increase their belief and trust that you are able to guide them in parenting. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, y'all, there it is. Week 2, episode 415 of the Summer of Mentorship. Thanks, y'all, for joining me. If you've been liking these episodes, I know they're a little different, a little snarky, but with some perspective. Share them with your friends. We would love to see that on socials. And yeah, like we said, if you've got some great newborn or pregnancy pics that you want to share, make sure you tag Don't Mom Alone or Cynthia Yanof and on Insta. And we would love to see them and share them. And lastly, one thing that the company who books my ads is trying is dynamically inserting ads into the show, and those will appear at the end of the episode, and they won't be read by me. And my request to y'all is I don't get to know exactly which sponsors they're going to choose. And so if you ever hear something and you're like, I don't think that goes with Heather's brand, let me know and I will let them know and we will remove it. But I'm excited to be able to have a new way to help support this show. And so that is through these ads. And I know y'all are so gracious. So thank you for being on Team Don't Mom Alone. All right, I'll see you back here next week. Adios.
Greetings and God bless. This is Tyler Burns.
And this is Dr. Jamar Tisby.
And we want to invite you to check out our podcast, Pass the Mic, Dynamic Voices for a Diverse Church.
Pass the Mic has been speaking directly to the core concerns of Black Christians for over a decade.
On our show, we've got interviews from theologians, historians, actors, activists, and so much more.
Not to mention heartfelt, open dialogue on some of the heaviest issues facing the church in the United States.
Be sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you there on the next Pass the Mic.